How did you recruit such killers? Like the three people that I know outside of you are Mike Miller, Neil Walker, and Jans, and all three are just killers at what
Mhm.
they do. And I've always, probably for the last 7 years, I've thought you guys are incredible at hiring. How'd you guys hire such good talent?
I think that's something I think one really proud of, and even outside of just growth, I love those three guys. I'm happy to talk more about them. But I think across the board, we ruthlessly prioritize bringing in great people. And so, like, there's people that have been there 4, 5, 6 years still that I think are the best at their function in the country. Um, and when it comes to growth, I think what was really unique, especially at that time, and even now, like you don't see a lot of people the founder level that come through growth that have like that type of background. And so I felt like I was able to recruit them at a founder level for a functional position where people are like, all right, this company gets it. It's not like, oh, you've got a good relationship with the founders. It's like, I'm one of the founders of the company. Like, you've got cover. Like, let's go build this thing. So Mike, I remember meeting, he was our rep on content, like doing some content early on. And then he was like, I quit. I think I'm going to go play poker in Vegas. And I was like, Mike Miller, hold on 1 minute. Before you do that, just come hang out here. Just come hang out here. Help us. We've got some stuff to do. We're slowly able to trick him into staying
Nice.
long term.
Deception is the answer.
Yeah, deception and inception, both important.
That's such a Mike Miller path.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's like the right path. This is the right mentality you want for like growth people. Is you want like gamblers. You want people that like want to win big and are willing to take some risks and some swings. And Mike did an awesome job. He was my first hire on the growth team. And then, Jan Jepsen from earlyjune.com. He was just always an SEM guy. He was like, loved search. And I wanted someone that was like a true ninja on the search side. And he had spent like 15 years of his career just doing Google search. And I was like,
Wow.
I'm pretty confident that if search is going to work, we want a guy like this who like knows what he's doing. So yeah, I think that was like a bit of a secret weapon on the hiring side from a growth perspective, where I could go in and give people comfort that like we understand growth, we understand how it works.
Yeah.
And especially early on, we were like a growth marketing company that was doing healthcare. I think that shifted over time, but like we really hit the ground running, and we had some really good people, still have great people there that know how to grow businesses.
How has it shifted over time?
I think over time, Ro started as Roman, the men's health company, and has really, transitioned into Ro, which is broadly it's a hospital. It's a virtual hospital. You can go in, you can get seen for men's health issues, for fertility issues, for weight management issues. And I think with that, it has also helped broaden the messaging and the channels that we wind up using to tell that story. I think it's also, even more important to be buttoned up in this highly regulated environment and making sure, you're putting ad copy out there. Has a doctor reviewed it? Has a lawyer reviewed it? We want to make sure that we're putting things out in the world that we stand behind, because every single thing gets scrutinized, and you assume that any ad you put out there, someone at a regulatory body is taking a look at it. So we spent a tremendous amount of time after initial push to make sure we're going through a process of review where everything we put out into the world, we would feel comfortable standing behind.
So basically today, before you launch an ad, legal has to review that ad.
There's a process where legal and medical are part of it.
Okay.
It's less of the evolution. There was less of like, it's a sequential workflow where like creative puts it together and then sends it to legal, and then they send it to medical, and then it gets published. That was kind of a nightmare. There's pods that actually just work collaboratively together, where legal is like, oh, I understand what we're trying to do. Don't use those words. And medical's like, I also understand, the spirit of what we're trying to say, but I would think about positioning it this way. And so it's much more of a collaborative process than it is like a sequential review. The sequential review is brutal. Is brutal.
It's interesting that you can find lawyers who are like, have the mentality of being like, I understand what you want to do. Let's do it this way.
Yeah.
Usually, the lawyer is like, I never get in trouble. I won't get in trouble if I say no.
Right.
You don't do it. You know what never happens is we launch something and I get in trouble. If we do it and something goes wrong, I can get in trouble. So lawyers are always like, no, don't do
Yeah, and it took an evolution of
Yeah.
not just the people, but the process and defining the risk tolerance at certain levels for the
Yeah.
company. And the risk tolerance is very low. Like it's very conservative, and always want to make sure that like we again stand behind everything and it holds up to scrutiny. But it requires that collaborative effort, I think, to come to a good spot.
Yeah.
Are
No, go ahead.
a lot of the ads that are working today still, are they the same concepts, same strategy, same positioning as what worked when you launched?
So to be fair, I'm out of the day to day. You know, I stepped back over a year ago. So I'm less plugged into what's working now. I know, you know, there's different focuses on different product lines now. And early on, it was very much about men's health and erectile dysfunction. Now there's a lot more balance between those ads and more of like weight management pieces that are coming out, et cetera. So I think there's a shift in areas of advertising, but also I would say kind of just like tone and brand overall as that has shifted into more of like the Row brand, and that's very different from like any of those individuals.